Hello everybody and welcome to our third episode of Keeping Up With MDN. Welcome, thank you for joining us. Two for the price of one today. Thanks for coming along. Do you want to introduce yourselves? We'll start off with Advay. Tell us a bit about yourself, what you're currently studying and your role in MDN.
Sure, so I'm Advay. I'm the deep learning lead currently, and I'm studying a double degree of electrical engineering with honours and commerce with a major in management studies.
Light work, very light work.
Yes. I in MDN I oversee all the DR projects with Nyan and just ensure that the branch is running smoothly and all the projects are up to scratch.
And I'm Nyan, so I'm a fourth year engineering student who's currently doing electrical and computer systems engineering. As the assistant lead, I'm basically just doing whatever Advay is telling me to do. Any work that he wants to offload, I'll just complete it for him. So yeah, that's what we do.
Amazing. And for someone who's never heard of deep learning, how would you describe the deep learning process and the sort of work that you undergo in the team?
Sure, so I guess I'll start off with what AI is. So AI is essentially artificial intelligence. It's getting man-made systems or programs to make intelligent decisions on their own without much human intervention. Machine learning is a way of implementing AI so that instead of telling a program or computer how to do a task, you give it lots and lots of data, and over time it trains itself using basically a lot of math to learn how to do the task. Think like differentiating between a picture of a cat and a picture of a dog. If you had to manually code that in, you'd have to code in so many things like the shape of the eye, shape of the nose, amount of hair. If you just put in a lot of data, that process becomes a lot easier because it just lands on its own. Deep learning is when you use a neural network to make those predictions. And essentially what deep learning is in a nutshell is training your AI in such a way that it emulates how humans think and learn, or at least how we currently know we think and learn.
As of yet.
Yes.
Amazing. And Nyan, how would you say you found your passion, say, for deep learning, or how did you discover it? Obviously, it's continuing to evolve.
It was pretty haphazard actually, because last year I was still pretty much interested in just doing electrical systems design. But one of my friends pointed me to a minor that Monash offered for engineers, which is artificial intelligence and engineering. And they had some really cool neural networks and computer vision units, which I really enjoyed. And that's when it clicked with me. And I think that's how a lot of people get into deep learning. Like you get a little bit interested in it, you do a bit, and you're like, wow, this is really cool. So that's how I find my passion into it. And now I'm really trying to move my career into that direction and like leaving what I'm currently doing. So yeah.
And what sort of, I guess, are you the same, Advay? Are you looking to pursue it in the future? What sort of career options and areas would you like to dream career?
I guess anything where I'm able to sort of combine hardware and software and have something maybe where I can have a scalable product that I'm developing. That would be quite interesting for me.
Definitely. How about you, Nyan?
As for me, fashion designer, Paris Week, Fashion Week.
I love it. You can do it all.
Yeah, I can do it. I would say maybe more leaning towards industry research. I think I'm still really interested in improving how deep learning works, and being able to do research by industry rather than just academia would be pretty cool. But yeah.
I feel like it's such a versatile field. There's so many areas and pivoting areas that you can go through. So
exactly. It's
so many options.
With deep learning right now, it's so open and it's growing so quickly. So who knows how much what we see in a couple of years' time. So.
And in terms of fields that you think are going to have the biggest impact in the future, is there one that you can sort of pinpoint now that you have an inkling that in the future it's going to really evolve?
So I actually think AI is not going to be around in the future, and it's not going to be used at all.
So true. I think it's sort of fizzling out.
Yeah. No, but in all seriousness, just the ridiculousness of that statement sort of shows AI is going to be important in essentially all of the fields in our lives. In talking about which fields it's going to impact the most, I do think healthcare will be impacted a lot, just because of all the research that's happening, and basically a lot of smart people working on problems there. So
it's interesting because that was actually my pitch when I applied to the team.
Really?
And I do think AI diagnosis would be very useful. It's just there's a lot of challenges in trying to get that integrated right now, because for me personally, I wouldn't be very trustworthy of a machine doing my diagnosis.
That's the problem. Yeah, just will people trust it?
Exactly.
Yeah, there's trust issues there.
Well, obviously, there's like a lot of regulations that you have to pass through. I'm pretty sure governments will like really restrict what you can do. Gathering patient data can be a bit risky as well.
Definitely,
and you have
the
confidentiality, consent, there's all of these ethical implications.
Definitely,
but definitely the benefits of having AI in healthcare would be really massive for diagnosis because they can process so much more information than us humans can. So they can pick out these little hidden features and details of people and like use that to help diagnose people. So hopefully that will like reduce the chances of misdiagnosis and things like that. But again, a lot of ethical implications that need to be considered before it can even get its ground running, you know?
Definitely.
I think, it doesn't have to be sort of an either or type of situation where like there's either human intervention or no human intervention. It can be used to augment human processes. And currently a project that we're working on is augmenting sort of that ultrasound process where they're helping like doctors with deciding certain things rather than replacing doctors, really.
Exactly. I feel like they're always going to be working alongside each other. And another area that's definitely being considered at the moment is the like AI use in facial recognition and the use of like deep learning in that area. What are your thoughts, Advay? I know you've worked on a previous project in that area. Do you think that that's also realistic to implement?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. So basically I worked on this project a few years ago about detecting face mask usage using like computer vision.
Incredible.
Yeah, it was quite an interesting project. And like in a room full of 50 people, if someone wasn't wearing their mask correctly, it could capture that and sort of store that data in that system.
Wow.
And that project was quite interesting. It won a few awards, but it couldn't be implemented just because it's slightly totalitarian.
Slightly regulating that. Do you think there was other issues apart from obviously like the control issue? Do you think there was other areas that it needed to be improved or to sort of be regulated more before anything like that could really be implemented?
No, I mean, just like specifically even in Australia, having something like that opens up quite a like big can of worms in like what is accepted and what isn't, right? Like if you're able to like put one camera in a room full of 50 people and then just pick something out, where else can that be used, you know? Like what other sort of like monitoring is that going to be put in? So there's quite a few implications on that. And I think that reflects really well into like the facial recognition aspect of it now too. As for things which are features, you know, and like they're stuff we choose to do. So like NVIDIA's eye tracking in like games and stuff, using that to like help out in immersion. That's going to be fine. AI is going to be really booming in that sense. For things where it's monitoring, not so much, just because of our current like values and sort of like beliefs around that thing. I don't think it would be too easy to implement at this stage.
I think it already is kind of there, right? We just don't know it. Because they won't tell us. I'm pretty sure there's already a software out there that's monitoring our faces, whether it be like choosing who we are and stuff like that. But like at the end of the day, it's again public perception. I don't think people will be very trustworthy of systems like that, and there would be a lot of pushback if it was like publicized and things like that. But I have an inkling that it's already there out there, so we'll see how it goes. You know? I think the moral of the story is just don't let Advay go into politics, or else you might be under a totalitarian regime, you know.
Watch out. And in terms of the DL projects, obviously you do a lot of work, incredible work on the team, overseeing a lot of different projects. I know this is a tricky question, but if you had to choose, is there one particular project currently that you're working on or that you're overseeing that you just have a little favourite for, a little soft spot for?
Well, I mean, this is easy because it has to be the project I'm working on, right? Of course, the graph neural networks project, Just a little bit of a plug here and there. But our project is like really interesting because it's working on graph neural networks, and that is something that is really new. I think the idea was like proposed in like 2018, 2019. So it's very new to me. It's very new to the members of my team. So it's a very exciting challenge because what we're working with is like, there's not really many online resources on that. So we're doing a lot of self-learning and things like that. And that's an exciting part of, I think, MDN in general. You get to learn a lot of things on your own. Things that you might not be able to taught in like your courses or like that. So for me, it has to be my project, working with graph neural networks. And then obviously we have that, creative aspect where we're generating images using the outputs of a graph neural network, which is also a bit fun because that's what I did for my mini project. So there's a little bit callback on that. But that's probably what I'll say is my favorite project so far.
Wow.
Yeah, we have quite a few interesting projects in the branch, like across a wide variety of fields. In medicine, we've got like the ultrasound project, which is helping doctors, as I said before, with like ultrasounds. We've got microglia, who are like exploring how certain cells in the brain like react and how we can sort of find patterns among them to see how our brains are aging potentially. Microfluidics, which is like always exciting because we're like helping out with potential IVF processes in the future. Across that's just medical. Like we've got other like research-based ones like GNNs. We've got like just like some collaboration projects with like MHPR controlling a rocket using reinforcement learning, which is always exciting. So very, very wide range of exciting projects.
And for those who don't know, how would you explain like the process and like the interaction that goes on with the project teams and the researchers and like the researchers that we have on MDN? How do you say that interaction works?
Sure. So there's quite a few buckets where like that relationship falls into. It could either be like supervisors who are conducting their research and we're helping them with it. So like in the microfluidics project, where we meet with the supervisors bi-weekly, share our updates with them, and see where the project's going. And have that high-level overview. Then there's projects where we're like a team collaborating with another team. So that would be the MHPR collaboration and the microglia project, who are collaborating with Western Sydney University and the Guy and Gazy lab. So essentially in that sort of a project, whilst there are also weekly meetings and that sort of thing, we have a bit more input into the direction of the project as well, as to how we think we should proceed, and have more, I guess, technical conversations in that space.
It's really impressive. And I know you're involved a lot with obviously managing all of the like projects, but then again with the education branch, a lot of work goes on there. How are you managing this all? Obviously your full-time study as well.
I'll give you a little secret.
Okay.
It's basically called not doing any work on your FYP for the entire year and just putting all my time into MDN. Don't do that, guys.
Wouldn't recommend.
Yeah, I don't recommend that. But I mean, I'm managing it well because it's something I really am interested in, passionate about.
I feel like it makes such a difference.
Yeah, and I really want to improve what the team can be. And one of the branches is definitely education, where I feel it has like the biggest potential, because I think as a team we can do a lot more to reach out to just the general public and students, and not just us, us in uni school. So with education, one of the ideas that Nick had, our education lead, was...
we introduced Nick last week, so it's very fresh.
So one of the ideas that he had was essentially how schools be able to reach out to us. So what we'll have is a platform where we'll build on a couple workshops, particularly for different areas of TL, and then schools can pick and choose which series that they want to do for the students, and we feel that would be a nice way to get schools involved, especially for content that they want to teach the students. And that's just something that I haven't worked with education, and then for managing. I'm actually pretty happy with the projects I got to manage, because Advay gave me like a light workload, so thank you for that.
Generous, so generous.
And I think just overall the workload is a bit high on my end, but I do manage well because I just want to do as best I can for the team. So.
And now Advay, I've got a tough one for you. But as our viewers may know, there was an open day store that we had recently, a couple of months ago, and there was a Snake AI programmed game there. And a lot of people were wondering, was it rigged against humans winning? It was human versus AI, and a lot of people thought it was rigged against humans winning, Nyan included. Would you agree?
I'll let you in on the full situation from the start. So basically, the AI was trained to go for as long as possible. And essentially what that means is it gets the highest score possible. 2 days before the stalls, I changed the game so that it would cycle more quickly, right? So it was the first person to get to 15. The 300 game trained AI was slower than the human person because it was optimizing to go for longer. So I had to go back down to the 200 game trained AI, and that was a bit better. But it was still sometimes quite slow. So
you were mixing around there. Okay.
So basically what I did was instead of like letting the AI lose quite a few times, we're an AI and HPC team, I felt like the AI needed to win. So
you had a soft spot for the AI. Never before seen.
So if the person's score was higher than the AI score,
Okay,
the
yeah,
higher it
following.
got, the probability of the person's apple being in the corner increased. So,
Wow. So pretty much the answer is yes.
It was rigged.
It was rigged.
I could notice it every time I had a high score. It was corner or edge, and the human one moves quicker than the AI, so it's harder for us to actually control it. I noticed it, man. You cheating.
Yeah, I can't say it's let anyone win.
that was an
So
advantage though. You were twice the speed of something in a race. That was,
I guess.
you know.
Yes.
I can't believe you lost that.
I can't believe it. I lost that 3 speed.
Well, now that we've confirmed that, I think we might end on that note. Thank you for confirming. So honest with our viewers. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it. I hope you've had a good time here. And yeah, we really appreciate your time. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back very soon for our next episode with a new guest very soon. See you all next time.
Ciao.